Hey guys, Mike here. So, boy, what a day in the market. Finally get some green, and I want to know right out of the gate how many were surprised we finally got some kind of bounce. Whether it's a dead cat bounce, whether it's a relief rally, whatever it is, right? How many are surprised? I just want to know in the bottom right now if you're surprised or not, or you expected this, right? Because why? 6 red days in a row, 3 weeks of red in a row, right? Those are rare things, especially in this market. And so to get that, not a surprise. In this video, one, I'm going to show you an example. It never ceases to amaze me. Do the whales form the bottom or just try to predict the bottom when they do this, right? And I'll show you some whales that made about 4.5 million in a very short amount of time with what they did today. Also, I'm going to let you watch a video from Tom Lee talking about, do we have some more pain ahead? Maybe. But he makes a case for, why the market's in a good position where it's at now and could possibly move up. And then I'll show you after that some of the things he's actually talking about. And then we'll go into Nvidia, Tesla, a couple other charts as well to make sure you watch out for, especially one Mag 6 stock, which is, man, it's holding up. I mean, a lot better than I thought it would. So let me know if you're in that one. So anyway, I'm going to start off with the timely video first, and then I'll pick you up on the other side. It's a really short video.
Yeah, it's been a painful 2 weeks. I think some of the ways to think about why we're near an end is inflation expectations have way overshot to the upside. 1 year forward inflation is at 4.5%. It's where it was in October 2022, March 23, October 2023. So at the peak pessimism.
That's one thing.
Yeah, short interest has soared. Like 1 week, Goldman shows 1 week short interest in ETFs rose by the most since 2022. Median short interest in stocks is at basically a 3-year high. We're really oversold. If you look at internal measures like the percentage of stocks over their 20-day moving average, it's down to 8%. Again, a turning point. And now we just need a positive catalyst. I think as long as inflation tracks better than expected, I think we're in a good position to rally.
You look at different things in Katie Stockton, obviously. She said that there has been some damage. Therefore, she thinks there's maybe some more work. Not a whole lot more work, but maybe some more. Do you look at that? Has there been some damage, or do you see all positive indicators as far as maybe we're getting close to the end of the beginning of the end, end of the beginning?
Yeah, I think probabilities probably is what she's looking at, and I think there has been a lot of damage to the markets, but there are ways to look at why things could be turning. Mark Newton, our head of technical strategy, says the cycle turn date he was looking for is April 20th, and that's
420.
Yeah, 420.
Perfect.
And if you look at things like the DeMark count, we're at almost a 7, so we're only 1 or 2 days from a potential bottom or turning point.
And we're oversold. We actually got oversold really quickly.
And when you're talking about oversold, I mean, here it is. This is the futures right here. Boom, it hits oversold, immediately bounces, right? It's oversold, bounce. And this is on a daily chart, right? And usually when the daily does hit like that, especially after 3 straight weeks of being down, 6 straight red days, yes, you're most likely going to get some form of a bounce. And again, that spot right there, it's only about 1 to 2% above us. There were a lot of people are picking this to move to as far as like moving up, breaking. What you can see on here is going to be a lot of relative equal highs, which the market loves to hunt out, right, on going down and going up. And so there's a lot of liquidity above us because we've moved down pretty fast and got oversold pretty fast is what they were talking about. And I think it's surprising a lot of people. But that right there would be a good landing spot. Now, what happens once we get there? Well, that's a whole different story. That's what we're going to have to find out. But you can see, I mean, that's a quick drop down, right? Quick drop down. And so that's what a lot of people are going to pick out. I mean, again, we went down 7%. So that's a nice move down. So again, you came into this bullish order block right here. We started bouncing. And so here we are right now. So I don't think anybody should be too surprised. And even when you look on this right here, I mean, this thing bottomed actually on Thursday on the futures, because right here on Friday we bounced. And you see the volatility. I mean, it's just been absolutely insane right now. Even this morning, it was like, oh, we're bouncing great. And then we sold off immediately down to the new week opening gap. On Sundays, that's when the futures open up, bounced perfectly, and then just rocket shipped from there. And again, like I said, probably a week or two ago, whatever it was, if the market's wrong about rate cuts, all they're going to do is reprice, guys. So what are they doing? Here's June. 83% chance they don't see a rate cut in June now. You go over to July. All of a sudden they're going, wow, okay, now it's 59%. Again, this can change with inflation data, with Fed meetings, But all they do is just reprice, bring it back down. Say, okay, cool, great. Well, we'll put in here 2 rate cuts in instead of 4. And to show you the crazy rally this was today, take a look at this right here. And guys, before we continue, please hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps people find the video. And think about subscribing if you like this kind of content. And you scroll down, I don't care what sector you're looking at. For the most part, it's green, right? Some of them are really green. I mean, travel stocks were just doing great. Travel stocks have been doing pretty well, right? But gold and silver, you expect to actually be down today. The yields, the dollar at one point in time, all was red today. Taking a breather, right? Kathy Wood stocks going crazy. That's not a shock right there. The high beta stuff moving up and everything. Defensive stocks, even Chinese stocks are actually participating. That's always a red flag, right? I'm just joking when I say that, but they're rarely green, right? Some EV stocks, even though obviously Tesla had another rough day, some EV stocks were green. Anytime you're going to get the yields holding off in big rallies, you're going to get your fintechs rallying, and then of course the really beaten down ones from Friday, the semiconductors, all green today. Some of them are really green, and then of course I'll call it the Mag 6, because I think we all agree Tesla's not in the Mag 7 anymore. It's not a Mag 7, it's a Mag 6. But I understand a lot of people say, well, the market was green just because of the Mag 6. That's just not true, because when you look, I showed you the RSP was green on Friday. Okay, all these other stocks don't have a lot of weight. But again, this is an equal weight ETF. And so today, guess what? They're green. The RSP looks like it's doing what? Trying to form like a bottom right here on these smaller time frames. When you go to QQEW, it was red on Friday. But again, it was green. And actually, it actually bottomed out on Friday in the afternoon is what happened. You see there at 11:30 lunchtime, how it started to turn, right? Even though we had that major sell-off going on in the market. So again, other stocks are getting love. It's just a lot of stocks we've never heard of or we don't pay much attention to. So we pay attention to these big 6 stocks that have so much weight, right? Like Nvidia here, who had a really nice day today, right? Got back above 800. Why did it get back above 800? Because here comes the bullish flow, right? This is the new Tesla, the crazy premiums that this thing is charging and stuff, right? Not even close to anything else. It was by far the most bullish. You see this huge range, right, from like 705 to 819, and we just look at all these levels that's got to get back through. I mean, they're pretty easy to see right here, but these are the kind of levels you're going to have to draw out to figure out to break and get back above, turn into support and everything. And again, you're going to have a lot. Nvidia is not going to be reporting for a while, right? Some of those semiconductors have reported, but this one doesn't report for a while. And when you look, really the level I'm going to be looking at to try to break back through is right around 835 right there to break through and then retest support. If it gets rejected there, then obviously you could definitely see us heading towards the lower level of this weekly expected move right there. But I think because that right there was support for quite a while, going back all the way through March and April. And so that would be a good line in the sand to say if this thing moves. And of course, if it did get back to there, you saw how fast it moved up today from 750 to 800. That's pretty much nothing if it has a lot of bullish flow behind it, right? And so again, looking at this one, it actually got oversold on the 4-hour, not the daily. So 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, all oversold. And so it got a nice bounce. If you look at any time it gets oversold on the 4-hour, it gets a decent bounce. Now, whether or not it's a dead cat bounce, that's what we're going to find out. When you're in a downtrend like this, that's a lot of times what you're going to see, but you're going to get these moved back up. And what happens is you get the bullish flow coming in and then short start voluntarily covering, which means they're buying back the stock, and it gets pushed up relatively quickly, right? AMD the same way. Well, look at that, oversold, boom. It bounced, right? And this one needed some love because this one's been selling off for quite a while. We've talked about, well, when you look at this chart, anytime it's oversold on the daily, you get a bounce. Now, whether or not that's a dead cat bounce, we'll find out. The other times it rallied, but it was on an uptrend, right? Now it's in a downtrend. It tends to be different because now all of a sudden you got a lot of damage on the charts. Got to get through some resistance, of course. When you're uptrend, you got support. You come down, bounce the support, and keep going. On the downtrend, now you got to fight your way back up and through that, okay? And again, they'll report in the next, I think, 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, for AMD. And so right now, it doesn't really have a catalyst to try to push this one back up. Now, Tesla, of course, you might have noticed, we finally hit this trend line right here, which goes back all the way to 2019, came down, gapped down what we thought we would after the news, boom. Hits it and bounces. Of course, what else comes out? I think it's just maybe Sunday night. Tesla cuts prices in China and Germany now, not just the U.S., and of course, we expected that, but boy, did you get a rally. As soon as it hits that trend line, man, 4% very quickly in like 20 minutes. But of course, it wasn't done with the news because Tesla cuts the marketing team, which of course the market did not like. So immediately it sold it back off. So it came back down, then just kind of tried to recover off that trend line again, It's traded sideways. But of course, what did this one have? The most bearish flow. I mean, no surprise, they're not even close. All right. And so Nvidia is the new Tesla right now with the premiums, and that's the way it is. And of course, Tesla's going to be reporting tomorrow after the bell. So put in the bottom what you think is going to happen. Now that we've hit that trend line, do you think we're going to break it, go below it, or do you think all the news is kind of just factored into this one right now? That's really the big question, okay? Now, the one that's holding up the best out of all of these is actually Google. This thing's only down like 1.9% during this sell-off, right? And what is it in right here? It's in a broadening wedge, okay? We draw these trend lines. You can see that, and it hit that bottom of that broadening wedge for the third time, bounce back up, but to be down only 1.9% when so many of these others are down way more than that. Again, why? Because it's got big money behind it, right? This is a big AI play. And so we'll see if this is going to continue to hold up under all this or not. But it is so far. And that's what I'm saying. When you get in like a really weak market or weakness, look for those stocks that really hold up well. Okay. And so far, Google is doing that, surprisingly, right? And now I get to show you what I was talking about at the beginning. I always say it amazes me how these whales make so much money so fast, right? And just how powerful the options market is, man. And you look at this right here, you know, Cheddarfo puts out $9 million out of the money calls, highly unusual. It's rare to see this much premium for the out of the money strike within 3 weeks of expiration. These whales are very bullish. You can see these are sweeps, which I always talk about. And so $9 million. And if you look, that came in around 11, 12. So it probably happened around 11-ish, somewhere in there. And when was the bottom? 11:16 a.m. And then from there, it just rocketed, right? And because it rocketed, within a very short amount of time, they were up $4.5 million. Now, whether or not they sold, I do not know, but it just never ceases to amaze me. How many times I see this, I've showed it to you so many times too. It's just crazy. It doesn't always work out like that, but man, it's kind of especially if you're oversold at that time, I guess it's a good combination of things, good risk reward. Now, earnings tomorrow, you're going to have GM, UPS, PepsiCo in the morning, Tesla in the afternoon with Visa, Enphase, Texas Instruments, so loaded with earnings tomorrow. Also, because somebody requested this, I'm going to put this on here, which shows you red folder news. This is what really kind of moves markets sometimes. And so after the bell opens, you have flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI, and really nothing else going on besides new home sales, and then Richmond Manufacturing Index at 10 a.m. So definitely earnings and news, which could obviously move the market, and we'll see how the market digests this, you know, big move up. And I'm actually just looking real quick to see. Yeah, I kind of figured we were going to do a sell-off. So now, as I'm recording this, it's about 3 minutes till close right here. And it's down 0.7%, but we're still up almost a full percent on NQ. ES is almost up 0.85. IWM's up almost a full percent. So kind of figured that was going to happen going into the close, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see how the market's going to, you know, is it a dead cat bounce? We're going right back down in the red. A lot of this will have to do with earnings. It's going to have to do with this data coming out tomorrow. If it comes in line, guess what? You know, the reason why you get these crazy bounces, for those who don't remember, is because people start shortening like crazy, right? And then if you get these rip-roaring rallies, they're going to be covering, which is going to help fuel the fire. And then the option flow is going to come right behind it. So that's why you're going to get this stuff if you get it. So we'll see if it's a dead cat or not. Let me know at the bottom what you think about that. So anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. And I'll definitely be here tomorrow. We'll see how Tesla does and everything. Please hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. And as usual, I appreciate all you guys. And I'll see you later.